Well, Jordan, I'm very excited to talk to you. You're launching this new crowdfunding thing called Zoop, which is just for the fandom industry. And I actually interviewed the guys from Slow City Blues earlier, which would this interview will be launching the same time. And so I guess let's talk about the actual platform itself before we get into Slow City Blues and anything else you got coming up. So.
Ab- Absolutely, yeah. So this platform is kind of like formed because we saw, last year when the pandemic hit. I'm a big comic fan. I come from the comic industry. My co-founder, his name is Eric Moss, also comes from the comic industry. He used to be at IDW Publishing. He actually was the campaign manager for the #1 comics crowdfunding campaign of all time. That's the Keanu Reeves Berserker campaign with Boom Studios.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
So the two of us kind of got together and we were just kind of brainstorming like, all right, we see that there's changes in the industry. What can we do to help some new arising pain points? And we kind of focused on crowdfunding. That's kind of what Eric was looking to do. He was thinking about just potentially consulting people on crowdfunding. And because my background, I developed another app called ComicBlitz,
Mm-hmm.
which was like Netflix for digital comics. So I kind of come from the startup world in comics, and he comes from the more traditional world and now crowdfunding. We put our heads together and said, well, instead of just doing the campaign management thing and tacking on to other platforms, let's form our own platform. So,
Mm-hmm.
and with that, we're solving a lot of pain points for creators. So right now, if you do a Kickstarter, for example, it can take months and months to kind of get your campaign up and running, to potentially crew up with a campaign manager, a marketing person. Now, if you're the only, person running this, you have to find how are you going to print this. Also, if you have a large number of backers that support your campaign, do you want 1,000 packages sitting in your apartment, or do you want to use a fulfillment company? So we are the platform. We're also a suite of services layered on top of it to really take all the heavy lifting off the creators' plates, and that frees them up to create more and do more work for hire stuff and things like that. So the focus is on comics to begin with, but we're going to be looking to expand into gaming, into collectibles like toys and statues and things like that, card
Oh,
games,
that's
board games,
awesome.
tabletop games. Yeah.
Well, this is amazing because I've done one Kickstarter in my life, and it was enough. People don't know how much work goes into it because I mean I did it for its animation and comic book, but then like I'm spending months putting packages together afterwards to mail stuff out, or
Yep.
it took forever to get the dang animation done, even though we got like just barely enough backers. So this is great. This solves like everyone's problems where you can just focus on creating. You already have, I guess, do you have like someone to help market it too? Because that's a big part of the crowd surfing too.
Yes, we have a marketing specialist in-house on our team that's taking care of all the social media and all the ad buys and things like that, SEO, Google AdWords.
Mm-hmm.
Email marketing is big as well.
Oh, that's
And
great.
and to your point, so right now we're small. This is a concierge service, so it's not quite open source to just anybody at the moment, but the goal is to get there. Right now we're kind of
Gotcha.
starting with some notable or more recognizable creators that are going to already have a built-in fan base. So it's
Yeah,
kind of
that's
easy to,
understandable.
yeah, to
Yeah.
bring them on. And as we scale, as we start automating things, then yes, we could potentially open up the doors to everybody
Mm-hmm.
to get in on the action.
Very cool. So right now you got Slow City Blues. Is anybody else you're working on you're allowed to talk about, or that's coming up, or?
Yeah, so this video is going out the 7th.
Yes.
Okay, so the other campaigns that we have at launch. So Slow City Blues is the first one. I know you already spoke to those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you covered all the artists that are doing variant covers for them, but it's a murderer's row of, I mean, A-list talent that are doing some variant covers. You get a full 5-issue story, full story in either single issue format. If you want a hardcover, there's a slipcase. Artwork for sale. You're entered into a raffle. So if you back that campaign, you're going to be part of a raffle that's going to give away a piece of original art from the book. So hopefully everybody can kind of check that out and get in on that. The
Mm-hmm.
next campaign is with a UK artist. His name is Des Taylor. Goes by Des Pop online. So if you go to Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, I believe he's Des Pop everywhere. Really cool retro sort of pinup pop art style. He has a book called Scarlet Couture that he had launched through Madefire a few years ago. So we're doing the second volume of Scarlet Couture. You'll also be able to purchase the first volume if you want the whole complete story. And again, some awesome commissions and sketches and signatures. And yeah, I mean, the guy's art is clean and beautiful, draws amazing looking women, you know, if that's something that you're into as well as a comic fan. It's kind of a female James Bond super spy type of story.
Well, yeah, one thing I liked when I was interviewing them is it's they had collectible people in mind. Like there were different variants, stuff that was already signed, stuff that you could get if you went to a convention, which stuff's slowly coming back together now. But I love that aspect of that's for this, you know.
Yeah, you know, I think we're trying to service the people who are just looking to read a good story, but then also those collectors as well, you know, specifically for Slow City Blues, tons of variant covers, signatures, you know, the things that people are really looking to collect. Original art, you know, will be up there. Same with Des and the Scarlet Couture campaign. So sketches, original art, signatures, variant covers, I believe, as well on that one. So yeah, I mean, we're trying to, you know, service the fandom community, you know, whether again, you just like to have a, you know, nice looking book on your shelf or you're a collector of this kind of stuff. Third up, you know, so this will round out the month of June. So we'll have 3 campaigns for the month of June.
Awesome.
Is a book called Resolution. This is going to be a European hardcover volume, I believe, or what do they call it? Oh, man, the word is escaping me to how it, you know, it's a hardcover, but it's a little bit different dimensions than like kind of what you may be used to. But the creative team behind it is Ron Mars, Andy Lanning, and Rick Leonardi. So this is like a veteran team who have written and drawn literally every major comic book character from Marvel and DC, you know, across the board. Ron, most notable for Green Lantern and Silver Surfer. Andy Lanning for his cosmic stuff, Guardians of the Galaxy, Annihilation, you know, from the 2000s. That's all him. And Rick Leonardi, the co-creator of Spider-Man 2099.
Oh wow, that's very cool.
Yeah, so that's the creative team behind this one. I mean, between the 3 of them, they have like 100 years of experience in the comic industry. So this is space opera type story. You know, stretch goals on this one, original art getting drawn into the comic. You know, the comic is still in production, so there's a tier that you could be drawn as a character into the comic.
That's so cool.
Original art and sketches and you know, some really cool stuff that's available, especially if you're a fan of these guys. You know, I mean, if you've been reading comics, I don't know how you're not a fan of these guys. So
yeah,
really excited to have those veterans, you know, on board. And one other thing I should point out about them, you know, Ron in particular has run multiple crowdfunding campaigns before. So I think the fact that they're coming to us to handle all the busy work, all the heavy lifting, speaks volumes about what it is that we're doing and sort of value proposition to these creators. This is someone who's done it all before and is sick of doing it, to your point.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Full-time job. Yeah.
It really is. Very cool. So that's your 3 campaigns for June, and I guess the website, social media wise, where people can donate, and then hopefully follow. We can find out. I guess you'll be doing more campaigns monthly, I assume, or.
Yeah, we're lining up the July slate as well right now. The first campaign that we could discuss about July is Bart Sears, legendary artist Bart Sears, is doing a sketchbook. So if you're familiar with Bart, I mean, he's done Justice League, Batman. He did a huge run at Valiant Comics back in the 90s. But yeah, I mean, the guy's drawn for Marvel, DC, everybody as well. Been in the industry at least 25, if not 30 years himself. So really cool collectible sketchbook, and you know, the opportunity to get commissions and sketches for anybody who's interested. So really excited about that. The rest of July is being filled out right now. You know, I believe another name that we can throw into the mix is Chris Rile, actually.
Oh, wow.
So Chris Rile was the former president, CCO, and publisher of IDW. He's starting a new publishing venture, and he's going to be working on a book with Paul Cornell, who's written, I believe it's, I want to say Saucer Country, and he also wrote for Doctor Who on the BBC, you know, on TV. They're working on a project together that we're going to be working on, you know, later this year. So that's kind of as far down as I could kind of.
That's really cool. You got a lot of heavy hitters in the comic industry. That's great.
You know, I think as someone who's been through like the trying to sell my business to people in the comics industry before, it's night and day. You know, this is like, we're solving multiple pain points for these creators. We're providing potentially multiple new sources of revenue for them, almost as passive revenue. It's not a heavy lift for them. You know, we're really taking a lot of this work off their plate, and so we're being validated. Everyone that we speak to, I just had a conversation today. We're lining up another campaign for August, either late August or early September. You know, this guy is currently a Marvel artist.
Oh, wow.
So, but that's the thing. Us doing the work that we do allows these creators to continue doing their work for hire. It allows them to continue working on their next creator-owned project. We really free them up to the point where this becomes potentially a new model for them to continue to release new content. And that is what a lot of these creators have said to us, like, hey, if this is successful, I got 3 more lined up. And that's the goal for us, is to be this new alternative for creators to put their work out there and make a living, make money off of it.
Well, I love it. And like I said, where can people go online and donate and follow? Because I know you can be even more coming out in the fall, probably more campaigns, you know.
Oh yeah, no. This is once we're going, we're just going to be scaling up. You know, hopefully getting more and more campaigns each month. But the website is www.zoop.gg. So not zoop.com, zoop.gg. And once you're there, you can check out all the campaigns that are live and all the campaigns that are coming. So again, if this goes out June 7th, so people, you'll be able to see Slow City Blues, all the tiers that are there. And as a user, I have to mention this. Unlike the other platforms that are out there, if you want to back or support a campaign, you can only purchase one tier, one item. And then you have to wait for the after campaign, and someone's going to message you and say, hey, we noticed that you backed this campaign. Would you like to buy anything else? Right? So we do away with all of that. We allow the backers to purchase whatever tiers they want during the main campaign.
That's awesome.
You want 2 of that, you want 3 of that, you want a couple of these, cool, put them all in your cart, check out, and now that's it. One-stop shop for everything. No, oh, I can only get 1, or oh, you know, I have to wait until the end of the campaign and then go through this whole other process to buy something else. Nope, it's all in one place. So we streamline it, try to make it easier for the users. We're gonna have early bird specials, like I mentioned, the raffle earlier, and because we're sort of young and nimble, we're testing out some other cool, fun things that hopefully make the process more engaging for users as well. Can't reveal what they are at the moment, but we may see them in the first month.
Well, very cool. I'm look forward to watching your journey and whatever campaigns come down, and hopefully grow enough where you can let little guys like me join. I understand why you got to start with the big established comic book creators, though. But it looks like a platform I think a lot of people or other creators are going to want to jump on. So like I said, you do all the heavy lifting. Let us create. I love that. You know.
Yeah, and you know, the really cool thing is the creators that we talk to, it's all been word of mouth. Like we started off talking to like maybe 4 or 5 creators, and now they're like, oh, you should talk to so and so, or this guy would really be interested in that. And that's kind of how we've started filling out our slate, is just people really like the idea of what we're doing, and they're just kind of sharing it with other people that they have had conversations with about crowdfunding and doing creator-owned stuff. So it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jordan, thank you so much for taking your time to talk to me, and we'll talk, I guess, down the road for future campaigns. I think that'd be great. We'll maybe check in once a quarter or something, you know.
Look forward to it, man. Thank you for having me today.
All right,
and everybody, zoop.gg, check it out.
Zoop.gg. I like that. That's easy to memorize. How'd you come up with the name Zoop, by the way? I think it's a cool name, you know. I like I'll buy a t-shirt with Zoop on it, you know.
Nice. Good to know. Maybe we'll start doing some t-shirts.
Yeah, because it's a cool logo too.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. The word Zoop comes from the Flash TV show.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So, but it's not a word that is said on camera, or if you're watching the show that you would know. But in the script of the Flash TV show, when they use the special effects for the Flash to come in and out of frame, they call it a Zoop. And I was just like, oh, that's kind of a cool word. And yeah, it kind of stuck because I'm a nerd and it felt appropriate for this.
Yeah, me too, man. Oh, all right, Jordan. Thank you so much. Zoop.gg.
Thank you, Stephen.